joined right now with Russ Latow, and he's from this healing center, and he's going to very shortly walk on these burning hot coals. So what are you doing right now, Russ?
So I'm preparing the coal bed. So the fire's about ready to walk now. So what I'm going to do is actually rake the coals out. So right about out there, we're going to have a nice, smooth, even bed of coals. So it's important, as I mentioned earlier, that we don't have pieces of wood in there. We try not to have open flame because the flame can burn your clothes if you're walking across it. So that's what I'm going to build. And as I said, I've just kind of prepared this. These coals are probably 800, maybe 1,000 degrees probably. And when I have the bed made, it'll be probably about 10 feet long. And then I will prepare, and then I will walk across the coals. And so, as I said, sort of what's going through my mind right now, and even as I was driving out for this event, I was walking through the coals in my mind over and over and over. And then what I'm doing is I'm attaching whatever those fears are that I want to release with the fire.
So you kind of take a moment for yourself right before you're going to walk?
Absolutely. And you'll see that. And as I mentioned earlier, I'll stand at the foot of those coals. And there are times when you ask yourself, am I ready to walk? And you will hear no. And, sometimes that takes a whole lot more courage than just leaping in, right? And it's not about walking across the coals. It's about feeling the fear and not being afraid of it. When you're not afraid of it, you can take that enormous power and energy and you transform it into peace. And then from peace comes power. But now is power that propels you forward rather than a millstone that holds you back and paralyzes, which is what happens to so many people. But as we learn to not be afraid of fear, as we learn to not be afraid of fear, there's a peace that rises up inside us. And from that peace comes power. Yes! 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 Yes!
Okay, Russ, you just walked in those burning coals, and I know you seemed you had this fire when you came out. You were excited. Talk about the feeling when you came out of there.
When you come out, and I talked about it before, and I know people will hear that and go, yeah, well, that's really nice, but it really is true. In that 10 feet of coals, you come out a different person than when you went in. And I can't paint the picture of what the experience is like to walk across that coal bed. As I was in the fire, you weren't here, the cameras weren't here, I heard nothing. I could hear my voice, but it was somewhere far off, because in that moment, it was though I'd stepped out of what always is supposed to be. Fire burns. And I took that power, because you can feel the energy from the fire. It's not like your feet are magically numb or something. You feel that energy, but in that moment, we take that energy. I took that energy, and I transformed it through peace into power. And in that coal bed lies my past. And that preparation that started this morning, as I gathered the wood, as I piled it in just such a way with a respect and almost a reverence for what was about to take place. Even then, I was choosing, and I was looking at those things in my life, in my past, those perceived limitations that we have in between our ears, and I was simply observing them. And then when I left the coal bed, the only thing that remained behind were those things that bound me this morning, but don't now. And tomorrow morning when I get up, and the world may look the same or it may look entirely different, and those fears may come back, I now know that I do not have to be afraid of the fear. And because I'm not afraid of it, I can transform it into power.
So no burns, No nothing, just empowerment.
Just empowerment, that is true, and that's everything.
Yes, 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 yes.
Russ made it look easy, but I'm not sure I'm ready to walk on a hot bed of coals quite yet. Anyways, thanks for watching this episode of Live to Tape, and make sure to watch us next time. Anything can happen.